Champions League round of 16 is officially out. We know who's playing who. It's the first ever, this is history, bro. It's the first ever round of 16 after the new kind of group league stage, playoffs, whatever you want to call it. The new Champions League format, and we get our first ever round of 16. And I got to be real with you, man. I got a few things I want to say and a few things I got to get off my chest because a lot of people are chirping and a lot of fans are chirping about their team having easy paths, and we got to talk about it because when you start thinking easy paths, when you start thinking, oh, this, that, that's when things get really, really ugly for you. And while you're doing that, you're disrespecting some clubs. So I'll talk about it. On the right-hand side of the table, we have Barcelona, Benfica. We have Dortmund versus Lille. We have Bayern versus Bayer Leverkusen. We have Feyenoord versus Inter. Now, although this looks like, and people are saying, Barcelona fans are like, wow, we're going to the final. I've seen many, and not all, let me get this out of the way. This is not all Barca fans, okay? Most Barca fans actually think with their brain. Some Barca fans just yap to yap. And Barca fans are saying this is going to be the easiest walk, and some people are saying if they don't make the final, that they're like, this. If we don't make the final, it's the biggest upset in history. Like, Barca fans are legitimately thinking that they should make the final easy. Now, I'm not even going to speak on Benfica right now because I'm going to avoid my club, so I'm not biased. Saying that you'll walk Bayern Munich, saying that you'll walk Bayer Leverkusen, and that those are easy games because these are teams you could bump into. And more importantly, saying that you'll walk Feyenoord makes me believe you have not watched the Champions League this season. Because when Feyenoord plays at their top, they are an unbelievable attacking team, and they could put up a lot of goals. So looking at this, saying that, yes, Dortmund's not having the best season, Bayern Munich hasn't been the Bayern Munich of the past, Bayer Leverkusen, remember the season they had last year, Inter Milan, who is a defensive masterclass of a team and was literally in the final of the Champions League a few years back. To say that you're going to walk all these teams, I find extremely disrespectful. Now, let's talk about my team. When the draw came out and it was Benfica either having to play Liverpool or Barcelona, I wanted to play Barcelona. I said it in my video. I don't think Benfica is going to advance whether it was Barcelona or whether it was Liverpool. I don't think they're going to advance. Do I think they have a chance? Of course, every team has a chance in the round of 16. It's the Champions League. Everybody has a chance. If this was Barcelona of a few years ago, I definitely think Benfica was going to pass. But this is a different Barcelona, and it's a good Barcelona. But we have to remember that Benfica put up a lot of goals against Barcelona at the start to lose the first game. And they were winning that entire game. And they were tying that entire game, and they lost the game the last minute of the game. So they were in that fight. They were in that game. And to just be like, it's going to be a walk in the park. Look, Barcelona could destroy Benfica. It's facts. Or Benfica could show up and give a game like they gave, score. Like, if Benfica's able to put 3 goals again and slow Barca down, that's a tough game back at home for Barcelona. So I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying to completely ignore Dortmund and Lille and Bayer Leverkusen and Bayern Munich and Inter and Feyenoord, especially Bayern Munich and Inter, knowing the players they have, I find that to be massively disrespectful because these are top European teams. And regardless of what has happened, regardless of how their seasons have gone, for example, Dortmund, right? They're not having a good Bundesliga, which means all they really have is the Champions League and going far in the Champions League. If Dortmund somehow gets by Lille and they play, let's say Barca gets by Benfica, that's a game where you have a team that's not really playing for much in the Bundesliga and they're all eggs are in one basket. That's a hard team to eliminate. You know what I mean? So for me, this is a side that, yes, it favors Barca, but there's a lot of good teams on this side. And a lot of people will say, oh, the other side is harder. I don't actually know that. I don't actually know if the other side is the harder side or if the other side is a side that looks harder on paper, right? It looks like a harder, because this is what I think. I told my Real Madrid friend, this is the perfect side for Real Madrid. And people will say, what? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. If they get by Atletico Madrid, every other team is going to play them opened. And Real Madrid playing against teams that play opened with Mbappe's pace on the counterattack is going to be a threat to every team on this side. If Liverpool plays them open, they're going to hit them on the counterattack. If Arsenal plays them open, if you don't play a low block against Real Madrid, the counterattack is going to be brutal against you. So this side is actually the better side for Real Madrid, because on the other side, Real Madrid would have got an Inter that is a very low block team, or they would have played a Benfica that's a low block team. These teams would have played low blocks. Bayern would have played a low block against them and try to hit them on the counter, which kind of slows down Mbappe and all that. Man City opened up against Real Madrid, and you saw what Mbappe did to them. So this side is almost a better side for Real Madrid. Even though the teams are in better form and are quote-unquote bigger teams, it's teams that will fight toe-to-toe with Real Madrid and open up, and Real Madrid can get them on the counter. So this side, I think, is the perfect side for Real Madrid, right? The other side, I think, is a side where you have to play super defensive teams the whole way there. And the problem with the other side in Barcelona is the same thing. Barcelona in La Liga this year has struggled against teams that have played very low blocks and then hit them on the counter. That's the only way Barca's pretty much dropped points. When a team opens up like Real Madrid did, we know what happens. When Benfica opened up against Real Madrid, yes, they scored a lot against Barcelona. Yes, they scored a lot of goals, but we know what happened. We saw what happened, but Barca was able to score a lot of goals. If you open up against Barcelona, they're going to rock you. Lamine Yamal, Rafinha are going to rock you. The problem is no one on this side is going to open up against Barcelona. Benfica's not going to do it. Dortmund's not going to do it. Lille's not going to do it. Bayern might do it. Bayer Leverkusen might do it. Probably not. Feyenoord and Inter are not going to open up against Barcelona. They're going to play a low block and try to hit them on the counter. That's exactly what's going to happen against all these teams on this side. So is this side a better side for Barcelona? On paper, looks better, but if you watch football and you see the way football is played in 2025, you know that 99% of the teams on the right-hand side are going to play low blocks against Barcelona. On the other side, 80% of the teams on this side are going to not play Real Madrid with a low block. Arsenal's not going to play Madrid with a low block. They're going to try to defend. It's not their strong suit. Their strong suit is playing good attacking football. They're going to open up. Liverpool's going to open up. PSG gonna play a low block, kind of, but we know how Luis Enrique moves. He's gonna try to play an open game. This is not good. Liverpool, this is not good. This is not a good look for Real Madrid, right? I mean, for those teams against Real Madrid. Simeone's gonna do his thing. He's gonna try to attack Madrid, but there's gonna be a low block involved. That's just the way football works in 2025. So at the end of the day, we got some amazing, amazing matchups and some very hard ones to call. I'll give you, for examples, PSG versus Liverpool. This is a tough one, okay? Liverpool kind of has a little bit of an advantage in the Premier League, but I do think that their main focus right now is the Premier League. They have a big chance here to win a Premier League title in a manager's first season. It's a really big deal because City has kind of dominated England. So I don't know if their complete focus will be 100% on the Champions League or 100% on the Premier League. This can open up the doors to a team that can potentially have the best midfield in football. I know a lot of people call me crazy, but then this PSG team has João Neves. Vitinha is unfreaking believable. I'm not saying this because they're Portuguese. I think anyone that sees it understands the level that those guys have been playing at, and their midfield is wild. This is going to be a fantastic game. I would say Liverpool is going to edge it, but I just don't know how they're going to show up and play it. But I would say Liverpool's the favorites to advance here. You then move to Aston Villa versus Club Brugge. It's just tough, man, because Club Brugge absolutely annihilated Alantia, and I think Alantia is a very good low block team, good defensive team. Aston Villa's been on great form this year. They went toe-to-toe with Liverpool recently. I'm going to go ahead and choose Aston Villa, but I want to give all my respect to Club Brugge because I actually don't know if that's what's going to happen. So I think we're probably going to see a Premier League quarterfinals between Aston Villa and Liverpool. Could be wrong here. We'll see how it plays out. Atletico Madrid versus Real Madrid. I think this game will be decided. I think this game will be decided in the second game. I don't think it's going to be decided in the first game. There is to be one of those close, very close La Liga teams games. If there's any team in this that knock out Real Madrid from this side, I think it could be Atletico Madrid. This is a very dangerous game for Real Madrid. It's two teams that know each other well. It's two teams that plan for each other the entire season. They know each other's players. They know each other's tactics, their formations. They understand what they want to do. Very scary game from both teams. Because it's Champions League, I'm going to say with the form that Mbappe's in, that Madrid's probably going to get past here. Don't think it's going to be easy, but I think Madrid probably going to pass. Next quarterfinal game is Arsenal versus PSV. I'm going to give it to Arsenal. I think Arsenal has a very good good team. And with the Premier League kind of the way it is, A lot of focus, I think, will lean towards the Champions League. And I think they're going to put a lot of eggs in this basket. So I'm going to go Arsenal. Other side, Benfica versus Barcelona. It's sad for me to say. I pray Benfica gives a hell of a game here. But Benfica gave a really good game at the start to lose against Barcelona. They played their asses off, and somehow they still came up short. And they lost the game where they played incredible. And it's one of the best Benficas I've seen this season in that game. I don't know if Benfica could play better than that game. So the fact that they played that game and they couldn't beat Barcelona the first time, I got to say I think Barca's going to advance because that was the best Benfica I've seen this year, and they still lost, right? Regardless of the ref, whatever happened at the end, it doesn't matter. They lost, right? So I don't know if Benfica could do it. So I'm going to say Barcelona. Right? I'm not going with my heart. I'm going with my cabeça, okay? That's head in Portuguese. Lille versus Dortmund is a very interesting one because Lille is a really good team. Dortmund is always Dortmund. I saw Dortmund play Sporting and not suffer a goal. Okay, I don't think they suffered a goal. I think it ended 3-0 on aggregate. I'm gonna go with the Germans. I think here. I'm gonna go with them. I think I'm gonna go Dortmund. So it's gonna be Dortmund Barca in the quarterfinals. Other side, Bayer Leverkusen versus Bayern Munich. This is a crazy game. All German affair here. It's gonna be a banging game. I'm going to have to back my boy Company and say that Bayern gets it done because I'm never going to count out Bayern in the Champions League. So I'm going to go with Bayern. Feyenoord versus Inter Milan. I think this is going to be an absolute doozy of a game. Get your popcorn ready. I think it's going to be fantastic. Feyenoord, again, man, when they play football, they play football. I think the first game is going to tie like 2-2. And I think the second game, Inter Milan might just see it, maybe even on penalties, just see it out. I think Feyenoord is a very strong team, dude. Very, very strong team. I think they fired their manager this year, lost their best player, but they've already knocked out AC Milan, right? So, man, they're a good team. We'll see what they do against Inter, but I think Inter's going to advance here. So that's how I see the round of 16 going. I think that everyone should show respect to teams. This is the Champions League. You're in the round of 16. If you're there, it's because you deserve to be there. You didn't come through in an easy way. You had to make a certain amount of points to get there. And then after that, you had to play a playoff to get there. This was not easy, right? To look at Benfica as a Barca fan and be like, oh, we got that. Just remember that Benfica had to beat a very good Monaco to be here. Benfica had to do a certain amount of points to be here. Benfica had to go through a lot of good teams to be here. Benfica played Juve in the knockout round, Barca in the knockout round. Benfica played a lot of good teams in the table, in the league table. So to just be like, they had a hard run to get here. And let me just say this real quick. When the games came out and people saw Benfica's opponents they had to play, because Benfica got very unlucky with who they had to play, everyone said Benfica wasn't going to be in the round of 16s. So just remember that every team that's here deserves to be here. They had a pretty hard road to get here, and they're here, and they all deserve respect. With that being said, I don't think any team has an easy side. I don't think any of this is easy. It's the freaking Champions League. If it was easy, people would have done it multiple times. Thanks for watching, or more than multiple times, right? There's only a few teams who've done it a bunch of times. Thank you so much for watching. I would love to know how you guys feel. Let me know in the comments down below. Love y'all. See ya.